Hello, on a very hot day, I think 40 grade centigrade here in Vienna, Central Europe. So I hope I will make it through the video. This video is inspired by a YouTube channel I discovered a couple of weeks ago. It's called, the name of the channel is As It Should Be, and it's pretty much the same kind of channel as mine, talking about very similar kind of things, but probably more fun and entertaining. The guy who's doing the videos is a really funny New York guy. I haven't yet found out how to be funny on camera, I think, so maybe my channel is a bit more serious. He made a video recently. The last video I've watched of his was a topic that every one of us Beatle diehard nerd fans sometimes in his nerd career comes across. It's like, this is like you're officially a Beatle nerd if you ever did this, not necessarily as a video but for yourself. And I did it years before I had this channel. What I'm talking about today is a kind of list of fictitious albums that I wrote down because I'm a nerd, like 4 or 5 years ago probably, and he did his kind of obligatory video in that, with that subject, which is fictitious Beatles albums that never were. Imagine the Beatles didn't split up in 1970 and what kind of albums they would have done in the 70s, and for how long they would have, all these thought experiments, for how long would they have been together in the 70s, and which songs would they put on albums. And as It Should Be guy already said in his video, and he's so totally right, it's a bit, you can't really make such a video or such a list, even because some songs were written because of the breakup, and probably most, if not all, songs that they came up with after 1970, they wouldn't have written those songs in exactly the same way, or even at all, had they not broken up. So it's like the Back to the Future time paradox, in a way. So it's not meant to be taken serious, but I think, like I said, it's each of us diehard fans probably has kind of done such a thing. And like I said, I did mine 4 or 5 years ago, and so I have to say, after having watched the Get Back documentary and things that were like newer discoveries, the list, if I would make it today, would probably look a bit different. But we're making. I'm lazy today because it's so hot. We're making the list I made a few years ago. Maybe I will make an updated version of that in next year, something like that, with all the insights from the Get Back documentary included. But this is the list, and the As It Should Be guy, I'm sorry I haven't yet picked up the name. I have to watch more videos of his. Like I said, just 1 or 2 weeks ago I discovered his channel. But this As It Should Be guy, he started, like most people would, after Abbey Road, what would be the 1970 album of the Beatles, Haven't They Split Up? I make it a bit differently, and that's what I'm doing today, is a new Get Back, because after having watched the Get Back documentary, as I said, I wouldn't do it like that, but this was me speculating, like I said, 2 or 3 years ago, how could have things worked out differently, if George hadn't left on the 5th or 6th day of the Get Back sessions, and if all those Alan Klein and all those things would have happened differently, an alternative future. And I think this would be like an inflection point, the January 1969 sessions, for how they could have sustained their career if they would have approached the project differently. So in my scenario, Ringo doesn't have to leave for Magic Christian in February '69, and Glyn Jones has more time, and everybody has, or maybe he would have had to leave for his other project, Glyn Jones and Ringo for Magic Christian, but maybe they thought, oh, we need more time, we can't do this in 3 weeks. Then I think many things would have been much more smoother between them if there hadn't been this, oh, we have to finish this in 3 weeks. So in my scenario, they say, fuck it, we're working on this project as long as it needs to be worked on, so maybe Ringo cancels Magic Christian, etc. So in my scenario, they worked on it for like a typical Beatle album at the time. They worked for like 4 months from January to late April or something like that on that project, Get Back. So it would look like this. So the March single would still be the same. March 69 would be Get Back with Don't Let Me Down, double A-side single I would say. Then in June 1969, since John doesn't have the need for a Plastic Ono band in this scenario, they would put out Give Peace a Chance as a Beatles song. Give Peace a Chance was even billed Lennon-McCartney when John put it out as a solo single. So it's a Lennon-McCartney song. And it would be the A-side for their June 69 single, like All You Need Is Love, a big Beatle peace anthem single. Old Brown Shoe would be the B-side. In this scenario, Ballad of John and Yoko wouldn't be the next single. And the album, Get Back, it would be called Get Back, and it would be the initially intended cover, what became the Blue Album cover. So Get Back would be a double album, and it would be released in July 1969. And it would have the live show. I'm not sure, would it have been the rooftop gig still, or maybe they would have went to Tripoli with more time and more effort, or at an audience in London or something. I'm not sure which kind of live show this would have been, but side A would be that live show that they rehearsed for in the Get Back sessions, and it would be all live numbers. Number 1, Get Back, live version, so different to the March 69 single version. Track 2, Don't Let Me Down, same as with Get Back, live version. Track 3, I've Got a Feeling. Track 4, Dig a Pony. Track 5, The One After 909, and track 6 would be like a reprise of Get Back, a short version of Get Back. Then side B, and from now on, side B, CD would be studio, and it wouldn't be like the Get Back sessions where with this miserable Twickenham or even a bit improved, but still very rough around the edges, 7-row sessions. So it would be a real like an Abbey Road album, with real full production. So not much live feeling, but it has its advantages that we have the live thing with the side A, and side B CD would be really fully produced, and it would start off with I Me Mine, with strings and everything, maybe not by Phil Spector in this scenario, but the big orchestrated version. Track 2 would be a longer version of Dig It, like a 4 or 5 minute jam of that. Track 3, Let It Be. Track 4, Maggie May. Track 5, What's the New Mary Jane, a white album left over. Track 6 would be Commonwealth, so also a bit hinting back to Get Back, and maybe this would be a medley with the Get Back, the political Get Back about the Pakistanis, which goes right into Commonwealth, which anyway was like a sequel to that political Get Back. Then side C, so each side has 6 songs in this scenario, so it's a 24-track album. Side C would start with Two of Us, then track 2 would be the Ballad of John and Yoko. Track 3 would be Not Guilty, another white album left over, maybe reworked into a better version, because I think there were reasons why it was left off the white album. It didn't really gel in these sessions, so maybe they would make a version that's more resembling the 1979 George Harrison solo version, which is more like a ballad kind of approach. And they have more time to really develop this song, so maybe it's more this better version of Not Guilty. Then track 4 would be Across the Universe. Track 5, Octopus's Garden. All those songs, we've seen it in Get Back, and we knew it, as die-hard fans knew it even before, that these tracks were all tried and rehearsed during Get Back, so I can put a song like Octopus's Garden here. Track 6, All Things Must Pass. Track 7, You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. Very long version, like a 7-8 minute version of the track. Side D, Teddy Boy. Then the first track, Teddy Boy, off side D. Second track would be a jam with Yoko. There were we know about 3 or 4 jams between Yoko and the Beatles mostly without George, who hated that kind of stuff, during the Get Back sessions. So maybe the the most interesting of these freak out jams is track 2. Track 3 would be For You Blue, track 4 would be Chunk, track 5 would be Old Brown Shoe, track 6 would be Give Peace a Chance, the single from 1 month before, and it would finish with track 7, so it's not 24 tracks, it must be more like 26 tracks. Track 7 and the last track on the album, of course, would be The Long and Winding Road. So that would be the Get Back album, and they would have also made the film, but they're not going to release it now because maybe editing and cutting and finishing of the post-production would take longer. So in the meanwhile, they would put out another song from the album, Let It Be, as a single in November '69, but with a new exclusive tracklist B-side called Turkey. And in December '69, Get Back the movie would premiere and would be in the cinemas from December '69 onwards. And then maybe I make 1970 in the next episode. I will do more episodes. It would be a too long video. So next episode would be my year 1970 without a breakup in 1970. Thank you very much for watching.